Welcome to Brain Fog Banter, where two women in the messy middle of perimenopause try to make sense of what's happening as it's happening.
We're not doctors, we're just curious, unfiltered, and figuring it out right alongside you.
Every other episode, we bring in experts to help explain the stuff our bodies never warned us about.
And the rest of the time, we're swapping stories with each other and asking way too many personal questions. So let's stumble through it together. This is Brain Fog Banter.
Sleeplessness is what we're talking about today, but I have to be honest with you. I have had the best night's sleep this past week. I'm actually starting to think that maybe that whole physical activity and exercise helps you get sleep is real.
Yeah, I think it is too.
Because
like a lot real.
It's very real.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it might be important to note that I started on the estrogen patches, and they say that the decrease in estrogen is directly related to sleep. But the truth is that other than this week, it felt like an anomaly to me, my sleep has been total garbage for years.
That's such a bummer. I hate that. I hate bad sleep.
So do you find that, because your sleep was fairly normal before any of this started?
I never had issues with sleep. And then just fairly recently, I would say within this last year, it was like I would be waking up at like 4 a.m. for no reason, couldn't go back to sleep. I would not get on my phone and scroll because I thought I could get back to sleep. Sometimes I can go back to sleep. Not every time can I go back to sleep. Sometimes I'm awake.
So when you're awake, when you're like, it's 4 a.m., I know I don't have to be up for another couple of hours, but what do you do?
I literally force myself to lay there.
You do?
Yes. Sometimes I'll scroll. Sometimes I'm like, I can't do this anymore. My normal time to get up on during the week is 5:30. So sometimes I'll scroll. I try not to on days that I have to get up and go to work. If it's a day I know that I'm home, then I might scroll. It's so annoying.
It's hard to get out of my bed.
Right.
But I have found that if I'm laying there, my benchmark is like half an hour. If I'm laying there and truly unable to fall back asleep,
Yeah.
I've just been getting up and doing shit. It could be 3 a.m. and I'm like, okay, my body's telling me that I don't need to be in bed right now. But the problem is that when I do that, it's not like I am doing that until I get tired and then I go back to sleep. So I think I'm choosing stimulating activities and then I'm up for the day. So it could be 3 a.m. and I'm up for the rest of the day. And then I am dragging. What our body is doing right now, and it's trying to like make up for all of this estrogen that we don't have. Like, it's actually
exhausting.
Yes, we're working. Our bodies are working way harder now than they have in a while.
Would lead you to believe that we would sleep better than we do because our bodies are working harder, but no. 4 a.m., you're like, oh, world.
Yes.
And I do not like, if I sleep in on a weekend and it's 6:30 in the morning, generally I'm getting up within 10, 15 minutes of waking up because I feel like I need to get up and start things.
Yep.
Because then I feel guilty that I can't just lay in bed and do nothing all day. Who does that? Not me. I got to get up. I got to do things.
That's right. If I'm just sitting there, it's like, but I could be doing X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
So, and we've talked about this before, like that pressure. This is a time in our lives where we need to be refocusing our efforts.
Right.
But we feel so pressured still because we're still in our careers. You know, you and I are still actively raising children, and we feel this pressure to still be everything to everyone when our body needs more from us.
I think it's because we want to keep things normal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's because things feel so unpredictable. They feel like they're unmanageable and sometimes uncontrollable. So to keep the normalcy. It's to do the things that we've always been doing, try and keep doing them, even though that might mean a little less sleep, a little bit more irritated or whatever. It's like it still feels okay to be doing these things because if that's the one normal thing you feel like you're, I don't know, you're that's just the one normal thing that feels normal to you, I guess.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point because it does physically we're changing, emotionally we're changing, mentally I'm totally shifting my priorities, but everything feels, and I've used this with my therapist, with you, with my mom, it feels unstable. Like I don't have steady ground anywhere in my life. So what you're saying makes sense. Like I'm forcing myself to still be the Kate of yore.
Yes. Yeah. Because it feels normal. And it's the one thing that feels a little like anxiety reducing, I guess you could say.
Right, like things that we can count on, you
Right.
know.
Exactly. You're making dinner at 5 o'clock or 5:30 for your family. Not that that's necessarily what you're doing, but I'm just saying in general, that's a one thing that I know I always do is make dinners to stay on that normal flow. Even though I just got home from work, my feet hurt, I'm exhausted because I was awake at 4 o'clock. I'm going to force myself to make dinner because that feels normal to me and I enjoy that normal feeling.
Even though what you probably would rather do is go take a shower because you've sweat through your
Yeah,
scrub.
probably. I would rather, but sometimes.
Okay, so then, and I think that this is true of sleep too. This might be a good opportunity for us to say, okay, maybe our family doesn't expect things from us. Maybe we could create a new normal, right? Maybe your routine isn't to start dinner the instant that you get home.
Yeah,
Maybe dinner is a little later at Shea Devon, you know?
maybe. I mean, I walked Winnie yesterday after I got home from work. Jason was disc golfing. Ella wasn't home yet. I was like, oh, I'm going to take Winnie for a walk. It's sunny out dinner. Jason came home and I was like, oh, I walked Winnie. It felt nice to just like get home. And so it was nice to decompress. So maybe once the warmer weather shows up, warmer weather, I'm eyeballing you.
Brain fog.
I'm just going to start calling it out when I have it. So
I think it's important.
normalize brain fog because I was going to say something and I don't have a frickin' clue what I was going to say.
Interrupt me if you think of it.
Okay.
All of the experts say that starting your day with getting sunlight early, real, authentic sunlight early, even if it's just like 10 or 15 minutes, is so important. But on days that I'm working outside of the home, I find it extremely difficult, especially in the colder months and when Jackson has school or whatever, to get up, make sure that Jackson has everything that he needs, get myself ready, make sure that we have lunch and lunch money and whatever. And to squeeze a walk in all before I have to leave at 7:30 in the morning, that's really tough. And it's not even light out yet. Yeah. So then when am I doing that? Because I know it's important. It starts the what is it? Circadia?
Circadian rhythm.
Yep, that one. And it tells our brain, hey, in X number of hours, you need to start your internal processes to get this person to shut it down and sleep. So how do you do that when you're already working when it's dark and like your day has already started?
I honestly don't know how you do it in the wintertime. I can say that a lot of times in the summer, Jason and I will go on walks, after dinner between like 7 and 8, we'll go on like a walk through the neighborhood and the sun's still out. And so that's nice. But honestly, I don't know. He got a sun lamp this winter. So sometimes I'll just stand in front of the sun lamp like this with my arms wide open, like, sun me, do something.
I mean, and that's reasonable. Could you walk on a treadmill with one of those sun lamps? Like, does
Yeah,
that do it?
probably you probably could. And maybe just getting the walk in and not worrying about whether the sun is out or not, just getting the walk in even if it's on the treadmill in the house, maybe that would
Yeah.
be helpful.
I mean, because as I learned last week, physically exerting yourself in a day does help with
With some good
sleep.
sleep.
Also, water.
Also magnesium. I take magnesium at night because if I take it during the day or in the morning when I take my calcium, those two fight against each other, is what I've read. And so you don't get the full absorption of either one of them. And listen, your bones are gonna need the calcium. I can't do that.
Right? Because our bones need attention, our muscles need attention. I follow this orthopedic doctor. She was talking about, stress on our like bones and joints and stuff is actually a good thing. So she recommends jumping, for
Like
example.
jumping jacks.
Well, yeah, like I think she was doing like some
Oh, okay, because
box
I'll pee
jumps. I'm not
myself.
there. No. Well, okay. And that's that's real because I don't have and I don't have the what is it, pelvic floor that I once had. You know,
You had babies.
the babies definitely screwed it up.
Kegels.
Well, right.
Do your Kegels, okay? I'm doing them right now. It's fine. Just do them.
Really? Like just how
It's currently happening. Just so you know. It's fine.
now I'm sitting here, I'm gonna wonder how frequently you're squeezing your vagina together when we're just having a normal conversation.
I will let you know. I'll be like, Kegel time.
Oh my God, yes. Please let me know every time.
Yeah,
And then
because then you
I'll
can get
start
yours
doing
in.
that.
Exactly. We got to help each other out here with the Kegels. We don't need pelvic floors dropping. I already have to cross my legs every time I sneeze, so I don't actually piss myself. I'm not kidding.
You're not alone. You're absolutely not alone.
I'm always crossing my legs, like, oh my God, don't pee.
And when I'm on my period, forget about it. I've lost all control
Tampon
over
goes flying,
everything.
whatever. It's fine. Excuse me, I gotta use the bathroom. That's, how it goes.
Okay, so intense workouts, which are important. You should be like lifting heavy things, whatever. I'm not doing it. But don't.
Because when I was doing like hit workouts, I was reading like, oh, it's so terrible for your cortisol. And I was like, well, that's dumb because I'm doing like weights, but I just think that I don't think that that's true. I'm not an expert. I don't actually know for sure. But in my mind, I'm building muscle. Why would my body all of a sudden be like going high cortisol? If I have high cortisol, it's probably not from doing a hit workout. It's probably from something else.
No, that's fair. And I feel like a lot of information that I have on all of this is misinformation until
Yeah, who knows, right? We don't know.
because there is so much. Even I was talking to somebody recently about starting on the estrogen patch and they're like, "Oh, that's so dangerous. You have a history, of cancer and whatever." I said, "Listen, I've done a lot of my own research on this because like our favorite
Mary Claire.
yep, Dr.
Dr. Mary
Dr. Mary
Claire.
Claire Harper. She is awesome. But no, she talks about how it is safe and there's a lot of different options for hormone replacement therapy, but she talks about being your own healthcare CEO. And that's so, so true. And I have been one of these people that kind of just blindly accepts what my doctor says as though they're not infallible or something. Like they're a human being, just like I'm a human being. My primary care physician got a lot of different training, but he's not going to be an absolute expert and know all of the intricacies of every tiny little thing.
Yes, exactly.
So that's why I have to know what's going on in my body, which is why we're doing this podcast because it is forcing me to learn.
Yeah, and hopefully get better at making things better for ourselves in our own lives and help other people feel better.
So, what is your nighttime routine?
I'm usually in bed by 9.
Yeah.
Because I'm usually exhausted at that point. I will wash my face, brush my teeth, and then assess what the weather is like. Is it freezing outside? Can I wear sweatpants? Do I need to wear a tank top? So my room is 66 degrees. in the winter. And then in the summer I have an air conditioner that I just turn on and freeze the room out before I get in bed. But also I sometimes have to wear shorts and no socks and a tank top to bed. I have woken up in shorts and a t-shirt sweating and then have to let the dog out and it's only 20 degrees outside. So then I'm frozen. So my routine is, wash my face, brush my teeth. I stop eating at 8 o'clock because I feel like the research I've done shows that your body digesting after that time, it makes it for not great sleep.
Yeah, I've heard that too, though I have no studies in front of me to back that up in any way, shape, or form.
So stop eating at 8. By 9, I'm in my room trying to get ready for bed. And then usually I'm asleep before 10 because then Ella will come in to say goodnight around 10. And generally she's waking me up to say goodnight. Good night. Love you. See you tomorrow.
So I have a bedtime routine, but I also have a dream bedtime routine that I've never actually been able to accomplish, and I feel like this can be an opportunity for you to keep me accountable on this. Okay. Because I have done a lot of reading on sleep hygiene, and this is a topic that I've talked about with my therapist a lot, and she's super excited about sleep hygiene. So my actual routine is me like just being exhausted and staring off at a television show, probably reality TV, until I'm too exhausted to function, which is normally around 9 o'clock. And then I put the put my little recliner down and I stare at the wall for another 20 minutes, contemplating if I'm really going to bed. And then I do go to bed, and then doom scroll on my phone and watch TikToks until my phone falls on my face.
I've been there a few times.
I mean, I brush my teeth and go to the bathroom, and sometimes, occasionally, will wash my face, but
When I say wash my face, what I mean is like get a makeup wipe while I'm peeing and wipe my face off.
okay, then I totally wash my face.
I don't mean like this skincare routine that like influencers do.
Oh, right, with the tap, 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 tap,
Yeah,
tap. No,
no,
shut up.
I
I
don't
don't have
have
time for
time.
that. Are you really doing a 40-minute routine every night? I
Literally, my
can't.
eyeballs are closing while I'm peeing and putting, wiping my face with a makeup wipe. Okay. Literally ready to fall asleep. I probably took a nap at 8:30 p.m. while we were watching a show for 10 minutes already at this point.
But okay, so so we have similar routines.
I'm so shocked.
I am too. Like, why is my sleep shit? I don't understand. Wait, I'm doing all the wrong things because my dream sleep hygiene routine consists of me having a 40-step skincare routine. I mean, not really, but I want products. Like I want to get one of those fluffy headbands. You know what I'm talking about, okay? I want to wash because it does feel good when I do the full wash, right? So I want to wash my face. I've got calm music playing and obviously some lavender essential oil going in my bathroom, okay? And it's just very quiet. Also, my family doesn't need anything from me and they're not trying to interrupt my routine at all. So I spend 20 This is the fantasy one. Okay. No one has interrupted me. No one wants to show me a TikTok video about a car or no one wants to tell me about a project that they have due the next day that they need my help with immediately or any of the other shenanigans that typically go on. No fighting children, like it's just everything is hunky dory. So I've done my luxurious skincare routine with the lavender
Yes,
and the
queen.
music. Then I go do a very luxurious, juicy, restorative yoga stretch for
Okay.
20 minutes.
Juicy. Get it.
Right? So my body is all feeling out. I'm feeling good. And then
No accidental gas while you're doing the yoga happening
absolutely
either.
not. No, I don't have gas in this like
Not in this
fantasy
fantasy
sleep routine. And then I crawl into bed and
with your
I
lavender sprayed pillowcase.
with my lavender sprayed
Mm,
pillowcase and one
I
of those
knew it.
silky sleep masks. And I listen to my sleep stories.
Okay.
Okay. And I gently drift off to sleep. And that is my dream. And obviously, I've avoided caffeine and taken all my supplements, obviously. I am hydrated. I have moved my body. I've lifted heavy things that day. And I just feel so satisfied going to sleep. No anxiety whatsoever
No.
because I've done my sleep routine flawlessly.
Perfect. And it happens every single night.
Yes.
Mm,
So
that sounds
because
amazing.
the message is I'm not doing enough. And if I just have all the best skincare and all the best sleep accoutrements, then I will sleep good. And that's the end of the story. But that's not real life.
I mean, not yet.
Okay, tell me more about this yet. When
Well,
when does it?
so your kids are gonna be gone at some point. They're not gonna live with you forever. So then you can have that. You will have no dogs at some point. Like right now you have dogs, but they don't live forever, so they won't be around forever. Now, I've already implemented this in my life, but you and your husband could have separate rooms. It's controversial
Okay, it is
because I think
controversial.
people think, oh, that's like, the best to sleep with your partner. And I can tell you from experience, it's amazing.
What do you love about it?
I can get up when I want and not have to tiptoe to the bathroom. I don't have to quietly open the door to go out. I can go back in my bedroom when I want. I can change as loud as I want. I can cough as loud as I want. I could do whatever. I could roll over to the other side of the bed and be like, okay, this is a colder spot that I'm going to lay in now because now I've heated up this spot and there's nobody there to bug me.
So that's true. That's true though. It's like when you flip your pillow to get the cool
Yes.
pillow, you can do that with your whole body.
Yes.
Okay, that's kind of nice.
It's nice. I think people were like a little like, what are you doing? You're not sleeping in the same bed at night at first. And I was like, it's really fine. I promise you.
I remember when you guys, Jay has a funny way of like introducing new
Oh,
topics. You know his way, right?
what? He's a
I
funny
know.
way.
He was like, so I think what he said was something along the lines of you guys getting on the separate bedroom train.
He likes to drop bombs.
Right, like, in the middle of a
That
conversation, I
makes
was like, no one was talking about what? And, so I think I remember kinda laughing, and then he was talking about it, and I think my follow-up question was, are you guys okay?" Right? Because, like, I didn't know anybody else that was sleeping in separate bedrooms, but then I started watching you 2 interact, I'm like, "They like each other better than they used to." Like, not that you ever had, but, like, I actually think that it strengthened your
Yeah.
marriage,
Well, like,
you
yeah, I
know?
think we each have our own space now.
There's something to be said about
Having your
having
own
your own
space.
space.
Yes.
Now, not everyone has it is a luxury
Yes.
to be able to
For sure.
have, but
It might not work for everybody.
oh, well,
It's not
and
for everybody, but I can honestly say that it's not been a difficult transition. It's been fairly easy and enjoyable.
that is something that probably does aid in your sleep. Although I think it is important to note that because this is real life, even if everything is perfect, you've got your own quiet space to sleep, that it is to your comfort specifications and your temperature, and you can do everything right, but we're still in
Right,
perimenopause.
exactly. So there's still because I and that's so I'm that's a really good point. And that's what I try to like when I'm talking to my husband about stuff. It's like I can do all of these things. That doesn't actually mean that I'm going to get good sleep because there's literally hormone changes that I cannot control that control me.
Oh my God, I feel that.
Right?
I feel that deeply. And that is the hard part because I've spent so much of my life trying to control what happens in my life. And it's a hard lesson to learn
I know.
that you just don't actually have control over anything. And I'm really trying to embrace that
Yeah.
because my anxiety is better when I believe that
Sure.
it's okay to
Yeah.
let go of control.
Right. It's hard to do.
I don't always believe it. And letting go is pretty tricky for me.
It's just hard to do in general, and even if you're not somebody who needs control.
So, so there are things that you can do to help it.
Yes.
Stay hydrated, exercising, that early sunlight really does help set the rhythm for your body for the whole day.
Yeah, and if you can't get it in the morning, you can always just do it in the afternoon or at night. I mean, even the walk, no matter whether the sun's out or not, is gonna do you some good anyway.
That's true.
But take some magnesium, or there's magnesium spray. I've done both. My sister-in-law is the one who showed me the magnesium spray, and she would spray her feet. Sometimes I spray my belly if I'm having like a hard like belly day or whatever. Like sometimes you just get those days. And so sometimes I'll spray my belly if I like feel really bloated or whatever. I don't know if it helps, but it helps in my mind. I
I
feel
love
like I have that under control. I spray my
it.
belly.
You're like, But and sometimes even just the act of taking steps to improve your
Yeah.
sleep.
Powerful benefits to your brain for sure. For your brain. Yeah. I know they have like cooling pillow cases and things like that. I work with somebody who mentioned that she did a pillow. She bought a pillowcase and she said it did not work. She's like, it was not a cooling thing. So I haven't invested in any of that stuff just because I'm so afraid it's not going to work. So I keep the temperature low. I wear the least amount of clothing to bed that I possibly can.
It doesn't matter what I wear to bed. I wake up naked every
Yeah.
morning. Like I can't. And then I get like the sensory thing when I start to sweat. If I feel like my clothes are sticking to me and I'm sweating, I get irrationally
Yeah.
angry. So I just don't mess with it. I
Take it
take
off.
everything off and Chris knows now not to try and recover me. If my
Covers are off of you.
the covers are off, it is designed that way. And that's so I don't murder anyone.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wait, wait, you're drinking your Jennifer Diet Coke.
Damn, look what I got. Look what Kate bought me. It's the Jennifer Diet Coke.
Listen, when it showed up, when it was delivered with our pizza that night, that I was absolutely melted into the couch and not doing anything productive. It showed up and it was like I won something really important. My reaction to getting the Jennifer Diet Coke was akin to the guy from Christmas Story, the dad from A Christmas Story winning the leg lamp. Okay. I acted like it was the most special Diet Coke on the planet and it had to be protected at all costs. I hid it in my fridge. Even though I told everyone and there wasn't a chance.
I know, because, things happen. Somebody gets a hankering for a Diet Coke. Whether it says Jennifer or it says fuck you, they want to drink it. Okay?
So you have it now, and I feel like much better about
I
life
know. I
in
can't wait to
general.
take it home and display it.
Something that I didn't mention that I actually do and would for sure be part of my dream routine. I do a brain dump every night. So I have a little journal and right next to my bed. And I sometimes it's like a 5-minute journal. Sometimes if I'm really like amped up, it's a 20 to 30-minute journal. But and it doesn't help entirely, but the act of getting it out of my brain and onto paper is the only thing that's been even marginally effective in stopping the racing
That's
thoughts,
amazing, though.
or at least slowing them down.
Yeah.
Because I do think it's important to note that some people have, you know, a fairly balanced chemical, emotional stuff in their brain, and some people have other mental illnesses that are exacerbated this time of their
Yeah.
lives. And I'm actively working on it, but it is important to note that my anxiety in general is pretty high. Um, and so I have to have strategies to even negate a little bit the
Sure.
negative impact of because it is just
But that's good. That's good to know. It's good for other people to know that that could be something helpful.
yeah.
One other thing I was gonna add that could be helpful to track sleep is if you wear your watch. Like, I know not everybody has an Apple Watch, but if you have an Apple Watch, there's a sleep app that I've downloaded. I don't necessarily love to wear my watch to bed, so I don't wear it most of the time because I just don't like the it being on my wrist all day and all night. So I don't always wear it, but when I do find myself checking my sleep to see. And if the sleep says I've had like 3 hours of deep sleep, which is great, and like whatever, I tend to not feel sluggish. It's like something like clicks in your brain where you're like, "Oh, I had 3 hours of deep sleep. I don't even need a nap today." But, I don't always wear it. So then I don't have anything to compare it to. So if I'm exhausted, then I'm just exhausted.
What are your thoughts on those health rings?
Yeah, so my husband has one. He wears it and it gives him good data too. I don't really know. I think he wears his watch to bed, so he gets his data from his watch, but I don't know much about those, but I haven't heard anything bad about them.
I have been seriously looking into them.
Yeah.
There's two main ones that I've been researching. The Aura Ring, which I love because Abby Wambach is the one that I heard it from first, and I love Abby Wambach and Glennon Doyle. I think they're so fun. So I've been looking at that one for a while. They are expensive, and there's a monthly fee, which is why I haven't pulled the trigger. Maybe after we sell
I
the
think
house.
he was grandfathered in, so I don't think we have a monthly fee because he's had it for so long.
Yeah, that's nice. Now it's you can't get any of it, but they have a lot. I mean, it's better AFib detection, but the sleep tracking is like you get so much good data. So I've been thinking about that. But the other thing that I keep toying with, and I haven't logistically figured out this piece of it. So maybe you can help me. They say that you shouldn't have your phone next to you. You shouldn't have screens. You shouldn't be on your phone, and if you wake up in the middle of the night, you shouldn't scroll. I do. I absolutely do. My phone goes with me to my bedroom. Biggest reason that I can't pull the trigger on having my phone out somewhere else is because I get maybe it's PTSD, but that call in the middle of the night when my brother passed away, I'm afraid I'm gonna miss a call like that. And had I not had my phone on me that night, I wouldn't have made it down to Ohio to say goodbye to him. I can't risk that. So how are people dealing with that?
Well, so I also take my phone to bed and I have never not tried. I have tried in the past, just like leaving it out in the living room. I don't love that. Anyway, I think people will put it like across the room. So like you'll still hear the call and you'll have to get up to get it, but you don't have it in arm's reach to like pull it over and scroll through while you're sleeping.
That's fair. So if I have the ringer on and I can only let, important people come through, so all
Right.
other right?
Yeah,
Okay.
so if you have certain people that, you can block from calling you in the middle of the night, and then you have certain people that are allowed to call or whatever.
Okay. All right. So this is what I'm committing to because it is having some sleep this week was a little bit of a game changer for me. I like it. I like feeling rested. I did not feel rested the first couple of days, but by like night 3 or 4 of actually sleeping the next morning, I started to feel rested. So, what can I commit to? What is a reasonable thing to chew off as part of I'm working towards my dream sleep routine.
Okay. So maybe don't mess with the phone stuff just yet because honestly, if you're doing like the exercising or just the walking that's helping you sleep better, you're not going to wake up and go get your phone because you're sleeping,
Yeah.
which isn't going
Okay.
to happen all the time because obviously we're human. And so, like, that's probably going to happen at some point, at sometimes, right?
Well, I mean, I think it would have to because we can't control everything. As I have mentioned, we can't control everything.
And
Damn it.
though we want to.
All right. This is what I'm committing to.
Okay.
I'm
Tell me.
committing to two things that have been on my radar and I've been good and not good and good and not good. I am committing to meeting my hydration goal and getting a morning walk in. I'm going to make this short term for 2 weeks. Is it 2 weeks or 3 weeks that they say a habit is formed? I think it's 21 days,
I don't know.
3 weeks. I'm going to say 3 weeks. I'm going to, I think, unless I'm ill or something, I'm going to get a walk in the mornings, at least 15 minutes, but shooting for 30. And I'm going to keep up with my hydration. I'm going to start with those two things for 3 weeks, and then I will report back to you to see if it, in fact, has helped my sleep.
I'm gonna commit to doing 10,000 steps a day.
Okay.
So whether that's walking outside or walking on the treadmill, depending on the weather or whatever, then I'm gonna commit to that. I'll do that for 2 weeks and we'll see
Okay.
how. And making sure I take my magnesium every single night because sometimes I forget. So now I need to set an alarm for 9 o'clock every night to go off to be like, take your magnesium, bitch.
Those tools and devices, that's really helpful because I can't remember every tiny little thing. So I mean, I already have alarms that are going off to check in with my son to be like, did you take your medicine? Did you lay out your clothes for tomorrow? He needs those reminders, and he's in a pretty good rhythm now. He's doing them independently, but I still double check because that's part of our routine.
Yeah, for sure.
So having a reminder for yourself to take magnesium seems reasonable. I haven't settled into a ton of supplements yet, but I know magnesium is one that I'm interested in adding to my routine, as well as creatine, especially because that's a protein thing, right?
But I think you're supposed to take it like while you're working out. Don't quote me because I, Lord
Okay.
knows, I don't know the details, but I
Not
just,
experts.
yeah, I have no idea. Like I haven't researched it at all. But maybe
Okay.
we could do a supplements episode.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
Right.
But this is sleep, and those are the things that I'm committed to trying because sleep is tough.
Yes.
It and poor sleep impacts pretty much everything. Mood, the way our body
How
functions,
you eat that day. It
how
affects
you
how you eat. Like you have less brain function to say like, okay, don't eat that bag of garbage. Go get something else because you're so tired that you're like, I don't care. I'm just going to eat whatever I want.
absolutely. No, that's true. So, but I think part of this little experiment is to maybe take some notes or somehow track our sleep if that means wearing a watch. What's the name of that app that you were talking
It's
about?
called auto sleep.
Auto sleep.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. I'm going to look at my phone just to double check it, but
So, if we're doing that for 2 or 3 weeks, we should have some data on is have there been improvements to our
yeah,
sleep?
so I guess what I'll do is wear my watch every night. I'll wear my watch and see what it does to my sleep.
But I'll journal too. So
That'll be good. All
yeah.
right, you journal, I'll do the watch. We'll do the things that we want to do, and then we'll report back in 2 weeks and see how it helped improve or if it did nothing. You're on HRT, I'm on an antidepressant. So we'll have different chemicals in our bodies that are helping.
Oh no, these are new routines for us, right? So the HRT is new for me. The antidepressant is fairly new for
I've
you.
only been on it for like a month.
Yeah.
Well, maybe 2.
Oh, has it been 2 months? So
I
it's
don't
like
remember, but
solidly
it's
in your
enough that it's been
system.
in my system. Yes, for sure.
And I have an appointment with my psychiatrist in a few weeks to once my body is stabilized on the hormone replacement therapy, then talking about my medications for my
Mental health.
chemical
Yeah.
imbalances. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I think it takes everything. And my gynecologist was saying that. She said, listen, I think this is going to help a lot with these symptoms that have been ramping up, but you have to understand that because you have these other chemical imbalances that it's not necessarily going to be everything. So please don't stop working with your
Yeah, right,
psychiatrist
exactly.
because it's not 100%
Mhm.
perimenopause. Because I'm ready to be like, oh, all of my. Well, no, that's not true for me because a lot of this stuff isn't new. Now there are plenty of new symptoms from perimenopause,
Mhm.
but a lot of it
I
isn't.
know. It's a bummer.
Yeah. Listen, we're also interested if you are listening to this episode, how's your sleep? What has improved it? What do you know
tips, tricks,
Yes. Yeah.
send them our way.
Please. And any funny sleep
Yeah.
stories?
Like, did you
I
go to
have
bed with clothes on and then you woke up and you were naked and your husband's like, what's happening? Or your spouse, I mean. Doesn't
that's
have to be a
right.
husband.
Yeah,
Whoever your partner is,
your
your
partner's like,
boyfriend,
"Why are
girlfriend.
you naked?"
Why are you not wearing clothes?
I didn't benefit from that at all.
I know, exactly. And you're not going to because
Don't
I'm
touch me.
fucking hot and sweaty. So get away.
I'm exhausted
Yeah.
and hot and sweaty, and tonight's
Not
not
the
the
night.
night.
Okay?
Okay, pumpkin. We love you. Bye. But yes, listen, we're gonna get through it. Maybe these changes will help. We'll report back. As always, thank you for listening and for joining us on this wild ride. And
Yeah.
we appreciate you being in it with us and
We're in it together.
in it together.
Yay.
All right. Thanks for hanging out with us in the fog today.
If you had a laugh, learned something new, or just felt a little more seen,
Go ahead and follow the show.
You can also leave us a review, share this episode with a friend, or slide into our DMs with your own midlife mayhem.
We're here for it. All of it.
Catch you next time on Brain Fog Banter.